Nicola, three-time feature winner from Pittsburgh. The 9 is Rick Huffman, and the 7 is Ben Easler. Green flag is waving. 8 laps, the first preliminary heat race for the Smale Pontiac GMC Modifieds. Kostelnik, the early leader, way out in front, and then the action behind him. It's Al Civic in the 94 running second. Tom Frank, the Ohio driver, to the inside of Tom Knight Jr. 76. Wheel-to-wheel racing down the front straight. The 97 is George Nicola. Understand that it is scored as number 70 tonight. Todd Knight is at the wheel of the car that has now fallen back into the 4th spot behind the 6 of Tom Frank. George Nicola, the 97 car, came on like gangbusters that last lap while we were learning of the driver change. He is now up into the 2nd position ahead of Frank. He wiggled the car there on that lap, but maintains control of the runner-up spot. Then it's Tom Frank and Todd Knight in the 70 car. That car typically number 76. They've made it a number 70 out of duct tape lettering this evening, and he is riding third to Tom Frank, the teenage rookie from the Cleveland area, in car 6. Behind these two drivers, we see the 7 of Ben Easler and the 94 of Al Civic, who started up on the front row in the Froggy machine, falling back just a bit. Cars strung out single file around the speedway. Battle developing now for third. Tom Frank and Todd Knight playing bumper tag in turns 1 and 2. Knight, who has won a street stock feature with us earlier this season, now steering the modified, typically driven by Tom Knight Jr., his father. Tom Frank in the 6 car holding on to the 3rd position down the back straight and into turn 3 over Knight. Then it's Ben Easler in the 7. Best battle on the racetrack is for 3rd, nearly wheel-to-wheel down the front straight. Teenage Tom Frank in car number 6, trying to hold off Subway Street Stock veteran Todd Knight in car 70. Knight making his first modified appearance of 2005 as they head into turn number 3, still nearly bumper to bumper with the white flag in the air. George Nicola is riding in 2nd, and all by himself at the front of this field in turn number 2. It's Adam Kostelnik in car number 60. Kostelnik, the current points leader and defending champion. He's won 5 features in 2005. And he's now headed to the checkered flag for his 11th preliminary heat race win of the season in car 60. George P. Nicola gets the 2nd spot. Then it's Todd Knight by inches at the scoring line over Tom Frank, and Ben Easler completing the top 5. Nicola of Pittsburgh, a former division champion. Another 8-lap preliminary heat race for the Smale Pontiac GMC Modified Division. Green flag is out. Provanich leads him to the stripe. John Probanich has been very, very close in recent weeks to a first career feature victory. So far this season, he has 2 preliminary heat race wins. The driver outside of him in car 99 is Bo Glemba. He got his career first win in the month of July. He is wheel-to-wheel with Probanich, and he has 2 preliminary heat race wins. Call it a dead heat at the flag stand to score lap number 1. Leader is officially Bo Glemba by maybe an inch. Probanich hangs to the inside of the one-time feature winner with Mike Bacalon, a 3-time winner and former division champion, in 3rd place. In 4th, it's the 04 Bob Shipp, the Charger Division champion of last season, who had his best feature run last week. Challenge for the 2nd spot, Probanich trying to hold the inside lane against the advances of Mike Bacalon. Probanich and Shipp bumper to bumper with Bacalon to the outside of them in the battle for 2nd. Bacalon fades just a bit and is now going to be scored back in 4th, as at the scoring line it was Bob Shipp who had just a few inches advantage over the veteran. Bob Shipp in the 04, a modified division rookie who's been very stellar in the last 3 weeks of competition with a brand new race car, holding down the 3rd position behind the 11 of John Probanich. Caution flag waving, turn number 4 on the exit to the front straight. Harry Opfer's 01 and Jim Nicola's 5 have tangled. Wall contact has been made by at least one of those. The leaders are on the hammer. Green flag, 4 laps to go. Challenge for the lead at the drop of the green flag. John Probanich dives to the inside of Glemba. Before that caution flag waved, Glemba had a healthy lead over Probanich. They're now wheel to wheel in turn number 3. Bob Shipp holding the inside lane as Glemba is shuffled to the top side. Glemba from 1st to 3rd in 1 lap. After dominating the opening 4 circuits of this 8-lap heat race, Bo Glemba is in jeopardy of losing 3rd to Mike Bacalon. John Probanich the leader, the 04 of Shipp in 2nd, and Bacalon takes away 3rd from Bo Glemba. Glemba had the field covered in the first 4 laps of green flag racing, and now as we begin to work lap number 6 with 2 to go, it's John Probanich and Bob Shipp out in front. Shipp in the 04 car was close enough to touch the rear bumper of the 11 as they made their way down the front straight, and here comes a challenge for the win. Bob Shipp in the 04 looks to the inside of John Probanich. Shipp, Probanich with 2 preliminary heat race wins this season. The white flag waves indicating final lap for Probanich. Now the lead is just about a car length and a half over Shipp. Final 2 corners. If the rookie will make a challenge in the 04 car, he will not, with an advantage of 1.5 car lengths for the 3rd time this season. John Probanich is a heat race winner. Shipp comes home in the 2nd spot, Mike Bacalon in 3rd, Bo Glemba 4th, and Matt Panaya coming home in the 5th position. Hoffman drives the 73. In the 36 machine tonight, it's Will Ashton. 66 is Max Schlesinger. 25, Dave Tavermina. 64 is Bill Henry as we turn the Subway street stocks loose for an 8-lap preliminary heat race. Leading feature winner Frank Turek in car number 5 out to an early lead over Jonathan Heilman, and then the action is furious. Heilman and Lonnie Hoffman nearly make contact, while Jason Holder does make contact with Lonnie Hoffman in turn 3. Now out of 4 down the front straight, working lap number 1. It's Heilman in 2nd, Hoffman in 3rd, Holder in 4th, then wheel to wheel Max Schlesinger in 66, Bill Henry in 64. The 64 and 66 have both won preliminary heat races earlier this season, and in the car number 36, that's usually number 35 of Bill Ashton, tonight it's his son Will making his first start. Door-to-door action through turn number 1 and 2. Lonnie Hoffman in the 73 takes a position away from Jonathan Heilman, battling for the runner-up spot. Jason Holder in car 74 is now to the inside of Heilman. Close racing in the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Lonnie Hoffman hangs on to 2nd, but he takes to the inside and makes contact with Holder down the front straight. Everybody's on the brakes to avoid an incident, and that lets Hoffman continue in 2nd spot. Lonnie Hoffman cut across the front bumper of the 74 of Jason Holder, got himself crossed up, but made a brilliant save. Everybody continues forward progress. Hoffman remains in second. Jonathan Heilman now takes third position as Holder was the driver hardest on the brakes last lap. We're halfway through this one. Bill Henry in the 64 advances to join the battle. Dave Tavermina, the 25, also a part of the mix. A three-time winner is Tavermina. It will take to the last lap to sort out these positions. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on back. Door-to-door racing with Bill Henry making an impressive pass of Jason Holder now. Holder spiked the brakes so hard to avoid the nearly spinning Lonnie Hoffman. He may have damaged the 74 car, possibly knocked the toe out, maybe some front suspension damage as he spiked the brakes hard a couple laps ago. Hoffman continues in second, feeling a challenge now from Heilman as Bill Henry's 64 car shows a loose handling condition out of turn 4 just in front of Tavermina. All by himself out in front, Frank Turek has a healthy margin of lead as we continue to watch this exciting action behind him. Bumper tag played in the battle for the runner-up spot, and Hoffman slides to the outside. Jonathan Heilman in 15, knocked on the door, and it opened for him in turn 4. He did not complete the pass down the front straight as they are wheel to wheel in turn number 2 and now down the back straight. Bill Henry comes along into third. Meanwhile, up front, Frank Turek in car number 5 for the 14th time this season will win his preliminary heat race. 3 wide is the action in turn 4. Headed for the stripe, Jonathan Heilman second by inches over Bill Henry. Dave Tavermina, they traded cars on us in a big way. We'll tell you more about that later. Sean Phillips drives 31, Rich Burbage in 77. Last week's winner, Andrew Kostelnik in 57. Al Minjock drives car 6. Two racing families at the Speedway, the Ashton family, cars 35 and 36, and the Hope family, cars 78 and 88. There have been driver changes among those family members, and we'll bring you up to speed a little later. Robin Rimmel leads right now in car 22. Joe Hope, driving the Mike Hope race car, renumbered 78, is in second. Sean Phillips is third in the 31 car. He finished third in last week's feature, and now challenges Hope in the 78. Again, it's Joe Hope in the renumbered 78, usually driven by Mike Hope. And the car usually driven by Joe Hope is renumbered 35 for Bill Ashton, as we see him closing in on what would in fact be his teammate for tonight's racing, the 78 of Joe Hope. Driver changes in the Subway Street Stocks tonight. We'll get it right for you. 78, Joe Hope in Mike Hope's race car. 35, Bill Ashton in Joe Hope's race car. And those two quasi-teammates are door-to-door in turn 1 with Rich Burbage in the 77 breaking through. Burbage will now separate the teammates, the driver of car 77 from Newcastle, PA, with one preliminary heat race this season, side by side with one-time feature winner Ashton. Ashton has also driven his own race car to not only a feature win, but a preliminary heat race win, just like Burbage. Burbage now takes over the third position. Last week's feature winner, Andrew Kostelnik, challenging Ashton to the inside as well. Kostelnik, who had won in Motordrome competition as a Charger Division driver, got his first career street stock feature win last week, as well as his first heat race win of the season last week. He has now climbed into the 4th position ahead of Ashton. Just in front of Kostelnik, it'll be the 3rd place 77, the blue machine of Rich Burbage. Top 2 cars have broken away from the field with 2 laps to go. Robin Rimmel in the 22 and Sean Phillips out in front down the back straight. Phillips in the 31 from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. He's not finished outside the top 5. He's only raced less than half of a season with us, but every start has been a top 5 feature finish. In front of him, Robin Rimmel sees the white flag indicating final lap. Car number 22 has been in victory lane twice this season after feature events, as well as 2 preliminary heat race wins. Last season, he had 5 victories and finished 2nd in the final point standings. Into turn number 4 for the final time. 3rd preliminary heat race win of the season for Robin Rimmel of White, Pennsylvania. Sean Phillips comes home in the 2nd spot. Rich Burbage 3rd, Andrew Kostelnik 4th, and in car 35, Bill Ashton coming home in the 5th spot. So from Glenshaw in 98, Clarksburg, West Virginia's John Messenger in 51. Richard Mitchell of Brewston Mills, West Virginia drives the 22, Rick Miller in 25, Chad Hempill in 18, and Steve Black in the 1. Side-by-side action all over the racetrack. John Komarinsky in the 33 is to the inside of Dan Lewis's 8 car in the battle for third. And there's hard contact down the front straight. Sophomore Paul Urso and rookie Dan Lewis collected in the incident. John Messenger likely made contact with Chad Hempill, who was spinning to avoid that contact, and Steve Black stops the 1 car to avoid contact. Hempill's 18 limping to the bottom of the racetrack. Black pulls away in the 1. The 98 of Paul Urso and the 8 of Dan Lewis colliding hard on the front straight, then sliding into the outside concrete in turn number 1. Flag racing, Henry, Wiltrout, Komarinsky, Mitchell, and Miller the top 5. John Komarinsky in car number 33 has yet to win a heat race this season. The drivers surrounding him have been the biggest winners of the year. Richard Mitchell in the 22 looking inside the 33. Mitchell tied atop the leaderboard in feature victories with Rick Miller, each having 6 wins, each now passing John Komarinsky down the front straight. From 3rd to 5th in 1 lap, Greensburg veteran John Komarinsky in the Rolling Rock 33, falling back 2 positions to former Motordrome track champions Rick Miller, the Valvoline Brooks Automotive Group 25, and Richard Mitchell, the Howard Concrete Pumping Tom Clark Chevrolet 22, swapping the 3rd position. Miller up into 3rd, Mitchell back to 4th, Komarinsky in 5th. Teammates up front meanwhile. It's the 11 of Bobby Henry, who won last week's feature for the 5th of 2005, and 2-time winner Gary Wiltrout, 2nd in car number 60, the Benz Motorsports number 60, a combination team effort with the Wiltrout Racing Bobby Henry driven number 11. Both cars at the front of this field sponsored by Stone & Company, Lint Flooring, and Megan Ford. The Taurus of Bobby Henry, car number 11, and the Chevrolet powered number 60 of Wiltrout. Wiltrout, a 2002 Motordrome Speedway track champion, chasing Bobby Henry, who has more than 100 feature wins in his career. Working lap number 6 of 10 now. Cars strung out around the racetrack. Miller is 3rd, Mitchell is 4th. And Miller pulling away from Mitchell after that pass for the 3rd position. Rick Miller is clearly gaining on the front 2, but there is too much space between himself and Wiltrout to possibly challenge for this heat race win without the aid of a caution flag as 3 laps are remaining. Rick Miller in 2005 has won 12 preliminary heat races and 6 features. Mitchell in the 22, 6 feature wins, but only 1 preliminary heat race victory. Top 4 drivers on the racetrack have all been to victory lane in feature racing in the Napa NASCAR Super Late Models this season. Mitchell 4th, in front of him Miller in car 25, the defending champion. Then the Napa 100 winner in car number 60, Gary Wiltrout. And just in front of him, Bobby Henry in car 11 working the final lap. Last week he drove to victory in the 35-lap feature event after starting 14th in the feature. Through turn number 3, he will pick up his 9th preliminary heat race win of the season in car number 11. Wiltrout gets the 2nd spot, Miller in 3rd, Mitchell in 4th. John Komarinsky hangs on to a top 5 finish. It'll be Gary Knoll in the 14. Jim Nolker, I'm sorry, it's Jim Nolker in the 14. Harold Hunt drives the 88, the big brown car, and the entire Keller family starting at the rear of this one. The 11 of Victor Keller, the 1 of Tracy Keller, and the 13 of Denny Keller bringing up the rear in this one. Nolker and Ankrum side by side mid-pack. Up front we have a challenge for the lead. Brian Shipp in the 04, brother of last year's Charger Division champion, holding off the 2 biggest winners this season. Jimmy Stokes in the 95 and Jeff Giles in the 50. Giles so far this season, 11 feature victories in car 50, holding on to the points lead over Tracy Keller, side by side with Jimmy Stokes, the 4-time winner. Stokes in car 95 told us after his first career win this season, he wanted to win 5 features. He's 1 away from his goal. Meanwhile, Brian Shipp of Jefferson Hills looking for his first checkered flag of any type. It could be in this 6-lap preliminary heat race as he is the leader on lap 2 down the back straight. Problem in turn 2. Gary Ankrum has spun the 21 car to the inside apron. Ankrum in the 21 car. Stopped to bring out the Yellow Book caution flag in this Yellow Book Charger heat race. 4 green flag laps left to complete this one, with Brian Shipp, your leader, in car 04. That car is for sale if you're looking to become an amateur competitor in the Charger division. These drivers are not paid cash. They're an amateur entry-level division, rear-wheel drive, 8-cylinder automatic transmission, American street production cars on street tires, battling fiercely for the lead in this one. The 04 of Shipp, who's never been out of the sights of Jimmy Stokes and Jeff Giles. I think they want to make it 3 wide as they come out of turn 2. Giles and Stokes back, and Jimmy Nolker spins. After a great run in the 4th spot, he continues on the back straight in car 14. Green flag still out. We're not going to hold up the racing as Nolker continues on for the benefit of the program. Brian Shipp in the 04 with now his biggest lead of almost a full car length over the door-to-door battle of Jeff Giles and Jimmy Stokes. Shipp in the 04 headed to the official scoring line. We'll see the white flag indicating final lap. He has never seen a checkered flag. The Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania driver in Monte Carlo number 04, living in his brother's shadow this season, as his brother was the dominant winner and champion of this division last year. Bob Shipp has moved up to the modified division, but making a name for himself tonight with his first career heat race win. The 04 of Brian Shipp holds off Jeff Giles, who finishes 2nd, Jimmy Stokes in 3rd. The 11 machine of Victor Keller comes home in 4th, and Tracy Keller 5th. Cards will be hanging in Advance Auto Parts locations throughout the region. The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation International will benefit from those dollars raised, and you can purchase one by visiting Gary Ankrum's pit area and stopping to see Charger Division car number 21. Advance Auto Parts, American Flyers Division, 4-cylinder front-wheel drive cars taking to the Speedway. This preliminary heat race for the American Flyers is 5 laps in distance. Green flag waving, 3 wide racing all over the racetrack. Larry Vance in the 28, Kevin Ludwig in 51. There's still 3 wide as Deneen and Greco move past Ludwig's car. More 3 wide with Roger Bryan this time. The meet in a sandwich between Vance and Richie Miller, the rookie, in car 87. Gardner, the early leader in car number 7. Gardner, for you Mopar fans, flying the Dodge colors proudly at the front of this field. Aaron Minjock in the 2nd spot in car 34. Minjock got his first career victory just a few weeks ago, and then 2 feature winners side by side. Ed Deneen in the 16, Larry Vance in the 28. Deneen so far this year leading the points and the dominant feature winner. All this action taking place in positions 2 through 6. Aaron Minjock now side by side with the points leader, Deneen in the 16. Matt Gardner continues out front in car 7, but he's got feature winners. All 4 of this year's feature winners stacked up behind him. One-time winner Aaron Minjock in 34. Deneen, the 11-time winner in car 16, challenging for the lead. Back behind this trio, it's Richie Miller, the 5-time winning rookie, and Larry Vance with 1 feature win. Add Gene Greco to the mix, battling for 4th, but Deneen now pulling just about even in the battle for the lead with Gardner. Will we be 3 wide at the front? Gardner officially the leader on lap 4, headed to the final lap in this Advance Auto Parts American Flyers heat race. Gardner has traded pace with a couple of cars now, falling back to 3rd. And up front at the wave of the checkered flag, division points leader Ed Deneen winning his 12th heat race of the season over Minjock, Gardner, Miller, and Gene Greco in the 22. 20 laps in distance, falling in order behind the Smale Pontiac GMC pace car. Starting on the pole in car number 97 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that is George Nicola. Starting second in car number 11, seeking a first career victory, John Probanich from East McKeesport. The 32 is driven by Matt Panaya from Plumboro, Pennsylvania, then division points leader and defending champion in car 60, Adam Kostelnik from East McKeesport. The 6 car is driven by Concord, Ohio rookie Tom Frank, and the 70 machine driven tonight in his first modified start by Todd Knight. Driver of car number 7 is Ben Easler from Allison Park, Pennsylvania. Then it's the 01 of Harry Opfer from Bell Vernon, who had a problem in his heat race. Great that that car is back and ready for competition. Moving back, we see the 99 of Bo Glemba from Charleroi, a one-time feature winner, and the 04 of modified rookie Bob Shipp. Al Civic drives car number 94 from Wall, Pennsylvania, and his Froggy-sponsored teammate, the 98 machine, is Mike Bacalon, last week's feature winner. Car number 9 is driven by Rick Huffman of Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania, and outside it'll be car number 5, Jim Nicola from Pittsburgh, a former champion. Set to go 20 laps of racing in the Smale Pontiac GMC Modifieds. Front row is Nicola and Probanich. Row number 2 is Panaya and Kostelnik. Quick look at the point standings. In the Smale Pontiac GMC Modifieds, Adam Kostelnik with a healthy lead in the standings. He could be indeed headed for a second consecutive track championship. Bo Glemba second in the standings, Mike Bacalon third. Those two drivers separated by only 7 points in the standings. Glemba second, Bacalon third. George Nicola, the 3-time feature winner, is fourth in the standings, and he is only 1 point behind Bacalon. Matt Panaya is 5th in the standings. He will be starting from row number 2 in car 32. Front row, George Nicola, a 3-time feature winner from Pittsburgh in car 97. John Probanich from East McKeesport in car 11, seeking a first win, as is the 32 of Matt Panaya from Plumboro. Leading winner of the season, Adam Kostelnik in car 60, the points leader starting from 4th. Then it's Tom Frank and Todd Knight in row number 4. Green flag is waving, wheel-to-wheel modified action. Smale Pontiac GMC Modified Racing. Down the back straight and into turn number 3. Nicola, the early leader over Probanich. Just a couple weeks ago, Probanich led 18 of the 20 laps, only to be passed on a restart by Nicola. They are bumper to bumper once again, some 2 weeks later, with Probanich still seeking a first win. To the outside of him, it's East McKeesport's Adam Kostelnik, 6-time feature winner in car 60. Wheel-to-wheel racing in 2 rows behind the leader. Probanich in the 11, Kostelnik in the 60, Matt Panaya in car 32. Panaya, a 2-time heat race winner this season, looked very strong in the first part of 2005 and was a safe bet to win his first career feature. He's had nothing but bad luck in the second half of the season, and now Todd Knight is passing him in car 70 to the outside. Panaya holding the inside lane. Knight in the 70 to the outside. Probanich is in front of them in 3rd position, and now a challenge for the lead develops. Adam Kostelnik in car 60. His most recent win came on his birthday weekend, a weekend in which he'd never been victorious, even as defending champion. Last season, Kostelnik won 7 times en route to the Smale Pontiac GMC Modified Championship. George Nicola in car number 97. Last season was 2nd in the point standings. A 3-time winner, leading the 6-time winner in 2005. Nicola from Pittsburgh, of a racing family, was the 2000 Street Stock Division champion here at Motordrome 5 years ago. Kostelnik in car 60 races street stocks on Saturday nights at Jennerstown Speedway. Made 1 start here at Motordrome this season and finished 2nd in his street stock. Nose to tail, the top 2 and soon to be the top 3 as Probanich in car 11 is closing in on Kostelnik in car 60. Nicola remains the leader, the Pittsburgh driver in car 97. He suffered a hand injury at his full-time job earlier this season, kept him out of the race car for 3 weeks. His father substituted for him and kept him alive in the point standings. Nicola is 4th in the standings. Kostelnik, the championship leader, is 2nd on the racetrack, and then Probanich in 3rd in car 11. Probanich now losing 4 or 5 car lengths to the lead duo. Nicola one of only 3 repeat winners in the division, with Kostelnik, who has switched to the low side to challenge for the lead. The only driver with more than 1 win, still active in modified competition at this point in the season, is Mike Bacalon, who won last week. Gary Scott, who was second in the standings several weeks ago, destroyed his race car and has not been competing for 4 or 5 weeks now, leaving Kostelnik with that monstrous lead in the point standings. Kostelnik looked low last time through turns 1 and 2. This time tucks right back up to the rear bumper of Nicola's 97. Now changing to the high lane in turn 3. 2 of the biggest winners of the season. Bumper to bumper in Smale Pontiac GMC modified competition in turn 1. Kostelnik continues around the high side of the racetrack. George P. Nicola out in front in car 97 from Pittsburgh. Adam Kostelnik from East McKeesport now pulling wheel to wheel with him in turn 3. This ferocious battle is still pulling away from drivers 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Prabanich in the 11 is 3rd. Panaya in 32 is 4th. 2 drivers seeking a first win all season. Then in his first modified start, Todd Knight in car 70. Those 3 nose to tail while the leaders continue to slug it out 4 or 5 car lengths in front of this trio. Kostelnik was able to nearly make rear bumper contact with the leader once again down the back straight. Nicola in 97, Kostelnik in 60 in turn number 3. We're working lap number 12 of 20. This one will be a close finish, no doubt. Last week, Kostelnik was challenging for the lead when he made contact with Bo Glemba, sending both cars to the rear of the grid. He battled back for a top 5 finish, and tonight could be looking for win number 7 in the Smale Pontiac GMC Modifieds. His best run in turn 3 pulls him nearly even to the door of Nicola's 97. Maintaining the high line, Kostelnik still a full car length and then a couple feet behind Nicola's 97. Battle for second intensifies in a big way down the back straight. Into turn number 3, wheel to wheel, it is John Prabanich and Todd Knight. Knight, who was 4th the last time we checked in on this battle, has moved to 2nd around Prabanich and Panaya. Prabanich falls into 3rd, Panaya in 4th in 32. As they go wheel to wheel, the lead battle again picks up in turn 3. Knight all by himself in 3rd, with Furious racing in front and behind him. In front of him, it's leader George P. Nicola in the 97 on lap 16, with Adam Kostelnik knocking on his rear bumper. Knight all by himself, and then a cluster of lapped cars and position cars. 3 wide goes Bob Shipp, diving under Panaya and Prabanich. Mike Bacalon has taken away the 3rd spot in the 98. Huffman in 9 is a lapped car. Furious action in the top 5. Bob Shipp in the 04 has advanced up to 5th, passing both Prabanich and Panaya in 1 3-wide move. Shipp now in the 5th spot. Bacalon now up to 4th. Knight by himself in 3rd, and the leaders continue to wage war in turn 1. Nicola in the 97 with 2 to go, leading Kostelnik by just over 1 car length in car 60. Challenge to the high side once again, Kostelnik maintaining the outside lane. Nicola on the bottom as he's been all race long. At the white flag, final lap. 2 of 2005's leading winners dicing it out to the finish. George Nicola in car 97. Defending champion Adam Kostelnik in the 60. Kostelnik will try the high line in turn 3 of the final lap. Wheel-to-wheel racing on the final lap, inches apart. Nicola to the inside. Kostelnik with his best run on the outside. Dirt tracks the car. Nicola gets his 4th win. We're going to have a conversation first with feature winner George P. Nicola. He's out of the car and can hear you, ladies and gentlemen. George Nicola getting a hug from his father here in Victory Lane. Of all your wins this season, that had to be the hardest fought and maybe the most fun for you.
That wasn't the most fun, but I was a little nervous because we run it tight on gas, and when we were out there driving that track for so long, I thought, oh man, I hope we don't get no cautions during this race because it'll be tight.
It looked like you were having a blast with defending champion Adam Kostelnik. You held your line on the inside. He was using the top. Minimal contact, just wheel-to-wheel racing that had us excited in the grandstands.
Oh, me and Adam been racing together a long time. We got much respect for each other. We're both hard racers. We don't give an inch, but we give enough that we can race really tight.
Tight racing it was, and now a chance to thank your sponsors and crew.
I'd like to thank Cox Transmission, PJ Smoke Shop, Edlin Automotive, Stellar Generator, Jackson Welding Supply, Ken's Tire, and I got to thank my dad, my cousin Joe, my cousin Brian, and my uncle Jim. And I'd like to thank the fans for coming out, and I'd like to thank Dick's for sponsoring the evening.
There he is, George P. Nicola, picking up another feature win in the Smale Pontiac GMC Modifieds. About to get underway, front row made up of Rich Burbage in 77, Frank Turek in 5, Jonathan Heilman in car 15, the Subway Challenge driver starting from 3rd tonight, Robin Rimmel in car 22 starting 4th. Starting from 5th in car 31, Sean Phillips. The 74 is Jason Holder. 25 is multi-time feature winner Dave Tavermina, and driving the 35 tonight, Bill Ashton. 64 is Bill Henry. 57, last week's feature winner Andrew Kostelnik. 66 is Max Schlesinger. 78, Joe Holt. 73, Lonnie Hoffman. So we get set to go 20 laps of racing. 68 is Brian Averi. 6 is Al Minjock. 36 is Will Ashton. And there's the green flag. Subway Street Stocks underway for a 20-lap feature event. Side by side, up at the front of the field, the 77 of Rich Burbage. He has one heat race win earlier this season. He is trying to hold off the leading feature winner and defending champion Frank Turek of Mount Pleasant in car 5. At lap number 1, Turek is officially the leader at the scoring line by inches. Rich Burbage all the way from Newcastle, Pennsylvania in car number 77. Nearly making contact with Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania's Frank Turek. Robin Rimmel in car 22 closing quickly on Burbage. Rimmel, a 2-time feature winner this season, and Sean Phillips in 31, who's had every finish this year in the top 5. Burbage in car 77. With that heat race win, still seeking a career first feature victory. He is a Subway Street Stock veteran. Last season, the second half of 2004, he had stellar performances, had a lot of bad luck in the early part of 2005, as did Robin Rimmel, who's now a 2-time winner in car 22. Rimmel has been very fast of late, and 3 wide it'll be, wow. Down the front straight, Dave Tavermina, Sean Phillips, and Robin Rimmel 3 wide with light contact made in that battle for 3rd position. Dave Tavermina in car 25. He won the Subway 25, the biggest event on the schedule for the Subway Street Stocks just a few weeks back. Burbage, Rimmel, Phillips, and Tavermina, the 4 cars we're watching, battling for top 5 positions. Bad news for you Meatball sub fans. Jonathan Heilman of Bell Vernon in car 15 has fallen back from his 4th place starting position. Rimmel now challenging Burbage. Battle for 2nd heads into turn number 1. Burbage has had a couple of top 10 finishes this season, but nothing like what he did in 2004 when he finished top 10 or top 5 in nearly every feature toward the end of last year. Burbage was very strong last week and holding down the 2nd spot over Robin Rimmel in the 22, who has to make some evasive action as Burbage one groove lower on the speedway that lap. Rimmel gets the left front wheel in the grass, battling for 2nd. Rimmel to the inside of Burbage, runner-up position battle. Tavermina in 25 is up to 3rd now. He has cleared the 31 of Phillips, and the battle for 2nd is a strong one. Robin Rimmel in car 22, the Ford Thunderbird, sandwiched by a pair of Monte Carlos. And now into turn number 3 at the end of the back straight. He may have completed a pass for second. Rimmel up 1 into the runner-up spot, bringing Tavermina up 1 into third as Burbage could be falling back to fourth. 3-time winner Dave Tavermina leading the 31 of Sean Phillips by inches, trying to pass the 77 of Rich Burbage to the outside. Burbage a little loose handling in turns 3 and 4. Dirt tracks the back end of the car just enough to allow Sean Phillips to take position away. Burbage now back to 5th. Phillips in 4th, Tavermina in 3rd. Robin Rimmel a few car lengths ahead of Tavermina in the 2nd spot. And as we are on lap 10, Frank Turek is way out in front of this group all by himself. Turek has led from the drop of the green flag after a front row start. Working lap number 11 of 20 now, Turek's lead is almost an entire straightaway. The driver of car number 5 has won 8 feature events. He has won 13 heat race events and has the Turek's Plumbing and Heating number 5 firmly on his way to perhaps another victory over Robin Rimmel in the Napa Auto Parts Thunderbird number 22 and Dave Tavermina in car 25. Sean Phillips behind this duo in car 31. In 6 starts has not finished outside the top 5. Just behind him, Rich Burbage is struggling to hang on to a top 5 spot as Bill Henry in car 64, who showed plenty of strength in his heat race earlier tonight, has reeled into the back bumper of front row starting Burbage. Burbage, whose right rear tire has to be just about cooking as he slides the back end of the car through turn number 4 each lap. This the battle for 5th, and in front it is the 31 of Sean Phillips hanging to the 4th position. Then it's Dave Tavermina, who may be closing in on Robin Rimmel in what could be a fight for 2nd place with 5 laps to go. Into turn number 3. Rimmel and Tavermina are soon going to come upon the number 6 of Al Minjock, going a lap down and spinning just in front of the battle. Caution flag is out as Minjock loses the handle right in front of the battle for 2nd. In turn number 4 over Robin Rimmel, Dave Tavermina, and Sean Phillips. Battle for 5th with Rich Burbage in 77, 64 of Bill Henry, and 74 of Jason Holder, who's 3rd in the point standings. Henry slipping the car just a bit, then Burbage sliding. Looks like we're racing on dirt track banking in turn number 4 as everybody gets the back end loose. Henry falls back away from battling with Burbage and allows Holder into the 6th position. Sean Phillips in car 31. And then the battle for 2nd in front of him continues to heat up with Tavermina and Robin Rimmel. Tavermina in car 25, 3-time feature winner. Robin Rimmel, twice a feature winner in car 22. They're door to door headed into turn number 3. Tavermina in car number 25 and 2nd in the point standings, Robin Rimmel in 22. Tavermina takes away the runner-up spot with 2 laps remaining. Car number 5, Frank Turek, taking the white flag final lap in this Subway Street Stock 20-lap event on Dick's Sporting Goods night at the races. Frank Turek in car number 5 this season has won 8 feature events, and as the points leader out of turn number 4, will make it number 9 of the season. The defending champ wins again. Dave Tavermina in 2nd over Robin Rimmel, with Sean Phillips 4th and Rich Burbage hanging on to 5th over Jason Holder. Frank Turek, another feature win en route to what may in fact be a second consecutive championship title. When we talked last week with feature winner in the street stock division, he said, I'm not racing for points. It's too early in the season. We've only got 4 left. Are you thinking point standings yet?
We're thinking wins.
Thinking wins and doing it the right way. I'll tell you, you've come from deep in this field several times to win. Tonight's looked a little bit easier.
I'll tell you what, these guys are getting tougher and tougher every week. Next year, they're all going to be tough.
You had a little bit of lap traffic there. You had to back off the gas a couple times for lap cars. As the leader of an event with a big lead, how conservative can you be going into traffic?
None, because you don't know where them guys are. We don't got mirrors.
That's true indeed. And now a chance to thank your sponsors and crew.
I'd like to thank Westside Lube and Tire, Acme Speedway, Seacrest, Frank Turek, and Lay Trobe if they ever open back up here in the next couple weeks. My crew, they all know who they are. And my wife, I got to thank her because she puts up with a lot.
He enjoys every minute he spends at Motordrome Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, from Mount Pleasant, Frank Turek. 5-lap Napa NASCAR Super Late Model feature. Up front, the silver number 18 car is driven by the uncle of Busch Series driver Ryan Hemphill, late model rookie Chad Hemphill. Then the 22, the Howard Concrete Pumping Carvel Ice Cream Stores Tom Clark Chevrolet, driven by 6-time feature winner Richard Mitchell from Brewston Mills, West Virginia. Next in car 51, a fellow West Virginia driver. We call him Mr. Consistency. The driver of the Dare Advanced Auto Parts Monte Carlo 51 is John Messenger. Next, we see the winner of this season's Napa 100, driving the Benz Motorsports. Lint Flooring, Megan Ford Stone and Company number 60 from Somerset, Pennsylvania, Gary Wiltrout. Behind him, the Rolling Rock 33 is driven by Greensburg, Pennsylvania's John Komarinsky. Next in car 25, 2-time and defending champion of the Motordrome Speedway. Driving the Brooks Automotive Group, Valvoline, Bellevue Chassis Pontiac number 25, Rick Miller. Last week's feature winner drives the Stone and Company Lint Flooring Megan Ford Taurus number 11 from Connellsville, Bobby Henry. Able to make repairs after that heat race incident, former pro truck racer and winner in car number 8, Dan Lewis, and starting scratch in this field from Greensburg, Pennsylvania in car number 1, Steve Black, the Toyota Lift Trucks Beckwith Machinery car. There's the green flag, we're underway. 35 laps of Napa NASCAR Super Late Model action. Green flag waved by Renee of Dick's Sporting Goods on Dick's Sporting Goods night, and they are 4 battling for the lead, 2 wide, 2 by 2. Action at the front of this field with Chad Hemphill, the rookie, falling back, and the leader is Richard Mitchell on lap number 1. Gary Wiltrout in car 60 works to the high side of rookie Hemphill. Rick Miller in car 25, the current points leader, filing into the 3rd position. All 3 drivers at the front of this field have been winners this season more than once. 3 wide down the front straight, Messenger on the inside, Bobby Henry to the outside. Chad Hemphill, who spins almost to the inside of turn 2. Excellent save by the 55-year-old rookie Chad Hemphill. Green flag racing continues, although he loses several positions. We have a battle for the lead, door to door up front. Gary Wiltrout, the 2-time feature winner and former Motordrome champion in car 60. Former NASCAR Northeast Region champion Richard Mitchell in car 22, working the high side of Wiltrout. On lap number 3, we may have a new leader. No, Mitchell maintains the point position by inches. Wiltrout with a strong challenge to the inside in car 60. Watching right there, it's 2-time champion Rick Miller in car 25. Bobby Henry in car 11 is joining the fight. All 4 of this year's Napa NASCAR Super Late Model feature winners at the front of this field and fighting for the lead on lap number 5. Richard Mitchell, 2000 and 2001 champion of Motordrome Speedway in car 22. Rick Miller in car 25, 2003, 2004 champion. Gary Wiltrout in car 60, the new leader on lap 6 by inches, and he dirt tracks the car down the back straight. He's having a serious handling problem as car 60 spun on the back straight all by himself. Looked like something may have broken on car number 60 as he spins from the lead battle, thrilling race fans tonight on Dick's Sporting Goods night. from Brewston Mills, West Virginia, and the Dunbar Dominator, Rick Miller in car 25, leading Bobby Henry back to the green flag. The three leading winners of 2005, first through third on the racetrack. Richard Mitchell, 6 victories. Rick Miller, 6 victories. Bobby Henry, 5 victories. Working lap 7 of 35. Mitchell with a 2-car length advantage, maybe 3, 4, 5 now down the back straight over Miller. Miller and Henry, the two most veteran competitors of super late model competition at Motordrome. Further back, door-to-door racing for the 5th spot. Quickly recovering is Gary Wiltrout. It looked like something may have gone wrong on car 60, or perhaps he's adjusted his driving style to whatever the problem may have been. He is now racing even with the 51 of John Messenger for a top 5 position. Working lap number 9, Wiltrout clears John Messenger to find himself right back on the scoreboard in the 5th position. Working lap number 10, John Komarinsky's 33 car holds down the 4th position. Then it's the 60 of Wiltrout recovering from an unusual looking spin on the back straight. Then John Messenger in 51. Messenger comes into tonight 5th in the standings, should be moving up to 4th because Brandon Mann's not in competition. And how about the 8 of Dan Lewis? In that heat race altercation, they patched the bodywork back together on car number 8. He's not only in competition in this feature, he's solidly in the top 10. Gary Wiltrout just passed Messenger's 51 and now is challenging the 33 of Komarinsky. Down the back straight in turn number 3. Door to door, the Lint Flooring Benz Motorsports 60. The Rolling Rock sponsored 33 of Komarinsky. Komarinsky has raced in street stocks, pro trucks, just about every division that's ever existed here at Motordrome Speedway, Komarinsky has competed. Gary Wiltrout was once a street stock competitor before going on to a NASCAR late model championship here in 2002. Wiltrout to the inside, Komarinsky to the outside. We're working lap number 14, and this is the battle for the 4th position. Wiltrout has cleared the 33 of Komarinsky entering turn 3. Wiltrout won the Napa 100 just a few weeks ago in his first season of driving for Benz Motorsports. Wiltrout, also a former Jennerstown Speedway champion, has a lot of car lengths to make up if he's going to catch the 11 of Bobby Henry in 3rd. Nearly a straightaway advantage that last week's winner Henry has built up in car number 11, which is owned by Gary Wiltrout. About half straightaway in front of Henry, we find defending champion Rick Miller. He drives the Valvoline Bellevue chassis Brooks Automotive Pontiac number 25, a 6-time winner this season, trailing by 12 car lengths or so to that of Richard Mitchell in car 22. Mitchell, another 6-time winner, another former 2-time champion. The Brewston Mills, West Virginia driver, out in front on lap 18 of 35. Mitchell not racing a full season, getting those 6 wins in a relatively short span of time, not threatening for the track championship. The driver pursuing him, however, could be headed for a 3rd straight NASCAR late model title at Motordrome, Rick Miller. Both of the drivers at the front of this field have National Touring Series experience. Miller, who competed in the nationally televised ASA Late Model Series from coast to coast in 300 and 400 lap races, trailing Richard Mitchell, the ARCA Super Speedway veteran with Busch Series experience, who is out in front on lap number 20. 15 to go. Komarinsky in 33, Messenger in 51. This will be the battle for 5th. It appears that Messenger could be closing. The Advance Auto Parts Dare Monte Carlo number 51 of John Messenger. and the Rolling Rock and Rolling Rock Green Light 33 of Komarinsky. Komarinsky has led several laps of feature competition this year, as has Messenger. Messenger in the 51 car this season has also won Top Dog Challenge events. Wiltrout driving car number 60 in fourth after that spin on the back straight. Expected that car to be ill handling after the awkward position it was in after that spin. It looked like either a braking problem or perhaps some broken front suspension, but the car continues in fourth spot. Bobby Henry is third in car 11. Last week's feature winner, who started 14th to take the checkered flag, started a little closer to the front this week, but he's half a track behind Rick Miller in second spot. With 10 laps remaining, leaders are headed into turn 3, nearly a quarter mile ahead of Bobby Henry in third. Mitchell, your leader, moving around the 18 of Chad Hemphill, going a lap down. Hemphill, the rookie, fading quickly from the leader, and next we'll have Rick Miller pulling up behind him. Miller using the fuel-injected engine versus Mitchell's carbureted engine. A battle of power plants all season long, each have won 6. Henry's 5 wins and Wiltrout's 2 wins have both been with carbureted engines, just like Mitchell uses. Drivers telling us that the fuel-injected engine's possibly at a disadvantage on warmer nights. Miller's victory's coming in the early spring on some cool evenings. Rick Miller in car 25, 12th in the current NASCAR Division 4 point standings, but about 12 car lengths behind leader Richard Mitchell. Mitchell in car 22, driving for a family-owned race team with 5 laps to go. Last season, Mitchell was the driver of the Benz Motorsports 60. In 2003, he won the Napa 100. Last season, he was winless with Benz Motorsports and put this team together to make a late season 2005 debut. His brother Chris, the crew chief for his ARCA effort and Busch Series effort, crew chief on this late model, just as Rick Miller's brother Dave is the head wrench on car number 25. It does not appear with 4 laps remaining that Miller will have enough to close in and challenge for the win. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo of Richard Mitchell leading the Pontiac Grand Prix of Rick Miller. Mitchell, who began his racing career in the late model division, he did not race in street stock or Charger division competition, but began with a humble late model back in the 1990s and cultivated his talent into NASCAR championship material. The 2-time Motordrome champion leading another 2-time Motordrome champion with now only 1 lap remaining. The 2 drivers with the most victories in 2005 are at the front of the field, and Richard Mitchell is about to distance himself in becoming the first 7-time feature winner in the Napa NASCAR Super Late Models. The Dick's Sporting Goods Night 35-lap feature is won by Richard Mitchell. Rick Miller comes home in the 2nd spot. Driver 2nd in the point standings, finishing 3rd tonight is Bobby Henry in the 11. Gary Wiltrout back up to 4th. John Komarinsky completing the top 5.
Not really. Real loose coming up off first 10, 15 laps. I don't know what happened to Gary over there, but I'll tell you what, man, I'm just glad we was able to hang on there. You're right, I do got to thank these guys. They put 110% out all the time. I want to thank Dick's Sporting Goods tonight, Frank Howard with Howard Concrete Pumping, Carvel Ice Cream Stores, BFS Foods, Turnkey Foundations. I got to thank Martinelli's, Tom Clark, and all the Tom Clark Auto family. I want to thank my mom and dad, thank all the fans for coming out, and hope it stops raining.
Richard Mitchell gets his 7th win with a car that he says isn't handling quite right. He holds off the best of them and gets another victory on Dick's Sporting Goods night. Outside in car 51, it's Clifford Abbott from Perryopolis. The 04 is Brian Shipp from Jefferson Hills. The 1 car is Tracy Keller from Mount Pleasant. The 11 is Victor Keller from Mount Pleasant. 50 is Jeff Giles, the points leader and leading feature winner from Vanderbilt, Pennsylvania. The 88 is Hunker's Harold Hunt in the big brown car. Outside of him in the 14 car, Jim Nolker from Butler. 95 is Jimmy Stokes, the 4-time feature winner from West Newton. And the 13 car is driven by Denny Keller of Mount Pleasant. Yellow Book Charger Division feature 15 laps in distance. There's the green flag. Another honorary starter. Gary Ankrum gets loose at the wave of the green flag. He makes a nice save, but stacks him up 3 wide behind him. Nolker on the outside, Keller on the inside, Shipp, the meat of the sandwich in the 04. That allows Jimmy Stokes to make a big move to the front. Meanwhile, just in front of this battle, Abbott in the 51 and the 50 of Jeff Giles, slugging it out behind early race leader Tracy Keller in car number 1. Keller, second in the point standings, winner on opening night. Car number 1, leading lap number 1 over Jeff Giles, the points leader. Jimmy Stokes, the 4-time winner, is into the pits out of competition, but we have a caution in turn 2. Gary Ankrum has spun. Gary Ankrum of Smithfield in car 21 spins in turn number 2. Jeff Giles in car 50 from Vanderbilt. Both drivers winners this season. And how about the 14 car? All the way from Butler, Jim Nolker in 3rd spot. Excellent run for Nolker, who's made only a handful of starts with us this season. Up in front of him, a challenge for the lead. Jeff Giles takes his Monte Carlo to the outside of Tracy Keller. Tracy Keller in car number 1 was the opening night feature winner in a different race car, which is now being driven by another one of the Keller family. And on lap 3 of 15, Jeff Giles becomes the new leader. Giles with 11 feature victories this season and 9 preliminary heat race wins. Keller falling back into the 2nd spot. He has 5 heat wins to go with that feature victory and is 2nd in the point standings. Top 2 on the racetrack are just as they are in the standings. Giles and Keller 1 and 2. Nolker with an excellent run in car 14 is 3rd. And then we see more members of the Keller family. That's the 11 car of Victor Keller, and that is the car that was parked in Victory Lane here on night number 1. The 13 of Denny Keller has retired from competition. And just behind Victor, we see a door-to-door battle. Clifford Abbott from Perryopolis in the Buick Regal number 51 and the Chevrolet Monte Carlo of Brian Shipp in the 04. 51 car is owned by American Flyer Division driver Kevin Ludwig and driven by Clifford Abbott. Abbott competed in the Charger Division last season as well. Brian Shipp in the 04 from Jefferson Hills, using a car that his brother used en route to a championship last year. After a pit stop, Jimmy Stokes has returned to competition. He is a couple of laps down. He is challenging the 51 of Abbott, but not a battle for position, as Stokes had to make a pit stop for a flat tire early in this 15-lapper. We're now at the halfway point. 7 laps completed. Jeff Giles, the leader over Tracy Keller, with 7 laps remaining in the Yellow Book Charger feature event. Giles got his career first feature victory earlier in 2005. He never won before this racing season began. He's now got 11 victories. From an empty mantle to piling up trophies in the backyard, car number 50 is now for sale as the most successful car in the division so far this season. Perhaps Giles will be moving up next season. In second, Tracy Keller from Mount Pleasant in car number 1. Keller, in 2004, placed 5th in the point standings despite being absent from competition for all of August and September after a serious highway accident injured him beyond the ability to compete. He broke his neck in a highway crash last season and had an emotional victory lane ceremony as he declared his recovery complete by winning on opening night 2005. Behind him, still in third, Jim Nolker from Butler in car 14. An excellent run. In fact, it will clearly be his best finish of the season if he can hang on to third spot, fending off the challenges of Victor Keller in car number 11. Then it's the 04 of Brian Shipp, another automobile that is for sale if you're looking to get involved in Charger Division racing. Brian Shipp plays bumper tag with the 11 of Keller as rain is falling on the speedway. We have 12 of 15 laps completed. Keller and Shipp battling out of turn 4. Through the raindrops, it looks like we will get this feature completed. Nolker's number 14 car is just in front of this battle as he holds down third position. Then it's the 1 of Tracy Keller in second, about half a straightaway in front. And the white flag is now waving for leader Jeff Giles in car 50. Headed down the back straight. The leading feature winner in the division, leading the point standings. The young man from Vanderbilt, Pennsylvania, he's crashed this year. He's had DNFs this year. He still leads the points, and now he's a 12-time feature winner. Coming home in second, it will be the 1 of Tracy Keller. The 14 of Nolker hangs on to third over Keller and the 04 of Shipp. And making it a dozen victories in 2005, Jeff Giles Jr. Congratulations on another victory. This car says for sale, and it's a heck of a sales pitch when you go out and dominate a feature like that.
Yeah, we have a lot of feature wins this season. I think this is 11, but yeah, it's for sale, and if we don't sell it, we'll be back here next year, but hopefully move up to something a little bit faster.
I know you told us earlier this year you like the look of the modified division. Is it possible that this very car could be turned into a street stock for you next year?
Nah, I'm not moving to street stock. If I'm going to move up, I'll move to something completely different. This year, it'll take so much work to fix it up, and then, I don't know. I've seen a lot of guys change their cars over and then be no good. So I'll either stay here or I'll move up.
And now a chance to thank your sponsors.
I'd like to thank God, thank Giles Towing Service, Universal Ready Mix, Westside Tire and Lube, Hodge Transmission, Brooks' Automotive Group, Westages Appliances, and Painter's Choice.
Points leader Jeff Giles from Vanderbilt with another feature victory in car number 50. And folks, it's for sale. Gene Greco outside the 34 car. Recent first-time feature winner is Aaron Minjock. Row number 2 is hometown hero Roger Bryan from Smithton in car 12. Outside of Bryan in car 5 from Connellsville, it's Bill Oldham. Larry Vance in car number 28, a one-time feature winner, starts from 5th. Matt Gardner drives car number 7 and starts from the 6th position. Row number 4, the 87 of Richie Miller. He's a 5-time feature winner as a rookie. Outside Kevin Ludwig in car 51. The usually numbered 05 is actually numbered 85 tonight and driven by Jason McLean of Vanderbilt, substituting for Andy Giles. And the 16 is points leader Ed Deneen from Wilkinsburg. 8 laps, the feature distance for the Amateur American Flyers, sponsored by Advance Auto Parts. 3 wide racing, 2 different places on the front straight. Up front, Aaron Minjock, 2 weeks ago, a first-time winner in car 34, then the 22 of Gene Greco. Gardner in car number 7. That machine has led numerous laps of feature competition with 2 different drivers this year. Door-to-door contact made between Greco and Minjock, and 3 wide on the front straight. Gardner to the inside, Minjock to the outside. Greco with a flat right front tire, it would appear, in car 22. Stacking them up 3 wide. Deneen racing through the grass. Miller, the meat of a sandwich, 3 wide with Vance. Now Minjock's off the pace. 2 cars falling out of the lead battle, leaving Matt Gardner in 7, all by himself with the Mopar up front. Moore 3 wide with Roger Bryant. Larry Vance now falls back, making it a 4-car battle, 2 rows, 2 wide. Deneen in the 16, again, dirt tracks through the apron in turns 1 and 2. Taking second position away from Roger Bryant, then the 87 of Richie Miller. Moore 3 wide racing, maybe not. Larry Vance thinks better of it in the outside lane. Bryant in the middle, Richie Miller on the bottom, up to 3rd. Miller second in the point standings, 3rd on the racetrack. Bryant is back to 4th, Vance in 5th. Gardner out front, working lap number 3 of 8. As we told you, this race car has been out front several times this season. Matt Gardner in the 7 car was trading paint during his heat race. You can see the body damage to car number 7 as a result of tonight's racing action. Here comes points leader Ed Deneen. The Cavalier of Deneen in car 16. The Dodge Daytona of Gardner out in front, the 7 car. And another Cavalier, Richie Miller, in 3rd. So far this season, Deneen with 11 feature victories. Here comes the lead challenge. They're door to door. Ed Deneen leading by inches. Working lap number 5 of 8. Again, dropping the left front wheel off the racing surface. These are front wheel drive cars, remember. These are modified only for safety to protect the amateur drivers inside, but Gardner's not letting Deneen run away with it. Wilkinsburg's Ed Deneen, a crew member for the Gary Scott Modified. That team no longer in competition for 2005, hoping to return next year. Gardner takes a pretty good shot at the lead there in the 7, falls back a couple car lengths, then Richie Miller. Larry Vance in the 28 car, then Roger Bryant in the 12, completing the top 5 with Bill Oldham in car 5, riding in the 6th position. White flag in the air for Ed Deneen, current points leader, as Gardner hooks the inside of the apron pavement and drifts up the banking, opening the door for Richie Miller perhaps to make a challenge for 2nd in car 87. Final turns of Dick's Sporting Goods night at the races from Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania in car 16. It's a dozen wins for Ed Deneen. Gardner comes home in 2nd, Miller in 3rd, Vance 4th, Roger Bryant in 5th. Just in time, the Advance Auto Parts American Flyer feature comes to a close, presenting Ed Deneen with a Subway gift certificate as well as snacks and oil. Congratulations to him, and we will talk to him next week, folks.